Let's get right into it. Number 1. Vacuum death hug. Imagine stepping outside without a spacesuit, thinking, how bad can it be? It's just air, right? Wrong. The vacuum of space is like the universe's most brutal chiropractor. It doesn't snap your spine, it snaps your everything. Within seconds, all the air in your lungs would whoosh out like a deflating balloon at a kid-ass birthday party. If you made the mistake of trying to hold your breath, congratulations. You just turned your lungs into explosive airbags. They'd literally rupture because there's no external pressure holding them together. Your saliva and the moisture in your eyes, those would start boiling. Not hot boiling, this is cold boiling. In space, liquids don't need heat to boil. They just bubble away because there's no pressure. That means your spit fizzes like cheap soda, your eyeballs puff up like over-soaked marshmallows, and your skin starts swelling like an allergic reaction from hell. But here's the plot twist. You wouldn't instantly explode like in those bad sci-fi movies. Your skin actually keeps you mostly intact, like a human sausage casing. You'd float there, ballooned up and unconscious within about 15 seconds, thanks to your brain running out of oxygen. After a minute or two, game over. Permanent. Your last thought might be something dumb like, oh cool, stars look brighter up close, before you black out forever. Basically, the vacuum of space isn't glamorous. It's not Star Wars, it's not heroic. It's your own body becoming a weird, swollen science experiment. Number 2. Cosmic sunburn. You think Earth sunburn is bad? Try getting roasted by unfiltered solar radiation. On Earth, we've got this nice ozone layer acting like sunscreen, SPF Earth. In space, that's gone. What you're left with is raw, uncut, ultraviolet, gamma rays, and particle radiation that makes your skin cook faster than a microwaved burrito. Without protection, your skin would burn in seconds. Not the ouch, I'll peel later kind of burn, more like a why do I smell barbecue? Oh wait, it's me situation. And it doesn't stop at the skin. Space radiation slices into your DNA like a drunk barber with scissors, creating mutations, cell damage, and a future you wouldn't even recognize. Think cancer speedrun mode. Astronauts on the ISS are protected by Earth's magnetic field, but even they get zapped. Some of them report seeing weird flashes of light when their eyes are closed, that cosmic rays punching straight through their eyeballs. Imagine trying to sleep and the universe just photobombs your dreams with random sparkles. So yeah, space sunburn isn't a tanning salon accident, it's nature microwaving you alive. Your body, your cells, even your eyeballs become a light show of damage. Basically, you'd go from pale earthling to crispy space nugget in record time. Number 3. Bones of dust. Here's a disturbing truth. If you lived in space long enough, your skeleton would basically tap out. Gravity is what keeps your bones dense and strong. But in microgravity, your bones get lazy. They stop rebuilding themselves, and slowly you lose about 1% of your bone density per month. That means after a year in orbit, your skeleton is basically filing its resignation letter. Picture this. You come back from a year in space, trip on your way out of the spacecraft, and snap, your hip fractures like a breadstick. That's the reality astronauts deal with. Their bones are literally dissolving, not in some acid bath, but just because gravity decided to ghost them. It's like your body forgot how to stand up straight. And it doesn't stop there. Your muscles shrink too because, hey, who needs leg day when floating is effortless? Your spine even stretches out without gravity squishing you down, so astronauts come back taller. Cool flex, right? Except now your back hurts, and your skeletal system is falling apart like IKEA furniture. So yeah, space isn't just a vacation for your bones. It's a retirement home where your skeleton cashes out early. Number 4. Blood shift madness. On Earth, gravity politely keeps most of your blood hanging out in your legs and lower body. But in space, nope. Without gravity pulling it down, your blood rushes upward into your chest and head. Imagine lying upside down on a bed for weeks. That's basically your new lifestyle. The result? Your face gets puffy like you're in the middle of a severe allergic reaction, and your legs look like they've skipped every workout since birth. Astronauts call it chicken legs because, well, that's exactly what they look like. Skinny, sad little drumsticks. But the real horror show is inside your skull. The extra blood in your head increases pressure behind your eyes, flattening your eyeballs and messing with your vision. Some astronauts develop permanent eyesight problems just from floating around too long. So while you're imagining the majestic view of Earth, your eyes are busy mutating into new shapes. And let's not forget the brain. The pressure changes inside your head can actually shift your brain's position. Yeah, your brain literally moves in your skull. Not by much, but enough to make you think, maybe this whole space tourism thing isn't worth the Instagram pics? So, blood shift in space? It is not just puffy cheeks. It is your entire circulation system rebelling because gravity decided to quit the job. Number 5, starvation in slow motion. Here is a fun little nightmare. Eating in space isn't a tea as simple as it looks. Without gravity, your stomach doesn't behave the same way. Food doesn't fall down into your gut. It just kind of floats there, relying on weak muscle contractions to push it along. Your digestive system becomes lazy, confused, and sometimes straight up incompetent. And the food itself? NASA makes it look fancy, but in reality, it's glorified astronaut baby food. Dehydrated, vacuum-sealed, rehydrated mush. Imagine Thanksgiving dinner if everything came in a Capri Sun pouch. Delicious, right? But the real problem is nutrient absorption. In space, your body processes vitamins and minerals differently, and sometimes it doesn't absorb them at all. Add that to your bones dissolving and muscles wasting away, and suddenly your body is starving even if you're eating full meals. Astronauts need constant monitoring to make sure they were not slowly dying of malnutrition while orbiting the planet. If long-term space travel ever becomes a thing, like trips to Mars, we'll need to figure out how to stop people from literally wasting away on the journey. So yeah, space won't just kill you dramatically. It might quietly starve you while you refloating around eating soggy mac and cheese from a plastic pouch. Number 6. Exploding fluids. Okay, this one's extra creepy. In the vacuum of space, fluids don't behave like they do here. Your blood, your saliva, even the sweat on your skin, all of it wants to boil away instantly. It's not just gross, it's horrifying. Let's say you get a cut in space without protection. On Earth, it bleeds normally. In space, the blood might actually boil and vaporize before it even leaves the wound. That's right. Your body fluids literally don't want to exist in liquid form anymore. And even if you're safe inside a spacecraft, microgravity still messes with fluids in weird ways. Mucus, for example, doesn't drain from your sinuses like it does on Earth. So imagine catching a cold in orbit. You'd basically just drown in your own clogged nose because nothing drips down. Astronauts have even reported tears refusing to fall. Instead, they form little liquid blobs that cling to your eyes until you blink them away like weird jellyfish. Crying in space isn't cathartic. It's just dangerous. So yeah, in space, your own bodily fluids are either exploding, clumping, or sticking around way too long. Basically, you become your own gross science project. Number 7. Silent suffocation. Here's the most unnerving part about dying in space. You wouldn't even notice at first. If your oxygen supply failed, you'd have about 15 seconds before your brain flicks the off switch. And in those 15 seconds, you wouldn't be gasping dramatically like in the movies. Nope. You'd just fade. Your body doesn't scream for air right away because the first problem isn't carbon dioxide building up. It's your blood cells quietly running out of oxygen. Your brain, starved of fuel, goes, "Nope, we're done," and you pass out before you even realize what happened. But then comes the suffocation part. Without oxygen, your cells start dying off one by one, like lights going out in a city during a blackout. First the brain, then the muscles, then pretty much everything else. Within 2 minutes, you're a floating corpse with the world's most unflattering puffy face filter. And here's the kicker. You wouldn't even get the satisfaction of screaming. Sound doesn't travel in space, so your final dramatic moment would be completely silent. Just you, floating in the void, with your body shutting down in eerie calm. Basically, space makes suffocation boring, terrifyingly boring. Number 8, radiation roulette. Earth's magnetic field is like a cosmic umbrella, blocking us from high-energy radiation. In space, no umbrella. Just you, your squishy organs, and endless particle bullets flying at near-light speed. Radiation in space isn't the same as getting a sunburn. It's invisible, silent, and merciless. A single particle can slice through your DNA like a hot knife through butter, leaving behind mutations your cells can't fix. Multiply that by billions, and you're basically marinating in cancer soup. On short missions, astronauts might just get higher risks of cataracts, skin damage, or weird cell changes. But long-term, we're talking brain damage, organ failure, and genetic chaos that could turn your grandkids into mutant lizards. NASA actually has to track how much radiation each astronaut gets in their career, like some grim loyalty program. Too many missions? Congrats, you're grounded. Not because you're bad at your job, but because your body's one more dose away from becoming an irradiated glow stick. So if you ever dreamed about living on Mars, remember, before you even get there, you're basically spinning the wheel of cancer, organ failure, or both. Space isn't a road trip. It's Russian roulette with radiation bullets. Number 9. Frozen but not really. You've probably heard the myth that you'd instantly freeze solid in space, like a human popsicle. Well, kind of. Yes, space is cold, colder than anything on Earth. But here's the weird part. You wouldn't freeze right away. Why? Because freezing requires heat to escape. And in space, there's nothing to conduct heat away from your body. Instead, you'd lose warmth slowly through radiation, like a weird human light bulb dimming out. So while Hollywood shows astronauts instantly turning into ice sculptures, the truth is creepier. You'd just float, slowly cooling, like leftovers left out overnight. But it gets worse. The fluids inside your body, blood, saliva, eyeball goo, those would boil off first because of the vacuum. So your insides would dry out before you actually froze. Imagine being both dried and chilled at the same time, like the universe's worst beef jerky. Eventually, yes, you'd freeze. Your body would become a floating corpse cycle, perfectly preserved for millions of years, drifting through the void like a very sad museum exhibit. A frozen warning label for future aliens. Humans, fragile, do not microwave. Number 10. The space madness factor. Okay, let's forget about your body breaking down for a second. What about your brain? Turns out humans are not built for infinite darkness and silence. In space, the sensory deprivation is so intense that your mind starts making its own entertainment. And by entertainment, I mean hallucinations. Astronauts have reported hearing phantom knocks, seeing strange flashes, and even feeling like someone else watching them. When they literally the only human for hundreds of miles. Your brain is so desperate for input that it just invents ghosts. Floating space ghosts. And then there's isolation. Imagine being locked in a metal tube with the same few people for months. You can't leave, you can't go for a walk, and the view outside never changes. Cabin fever? Multiply that by 1,000. Even the most well-trained astronauts sometimes struggle with mood swings, irritability, and emotional breakdowns. Your circadian rhythm, your natural sleep cycle, also goes haywire. On Earth, you rely on the rising and setting sun. In orbit, you see a sunrise every 90 minutes. Good luck telling your body when it's bedtime. The result? Insomnia, disorientation, and your brain slowly melting into a confused soup. Basically, space madness is real, and your brain will start glitching like a broken video game. Number 11. Vomit comet forever. Here's a fun one. Your inner ear hates space. On Earth, your balance is controlled by tiny fluid-filled canals in your inner ear that tell your brain which way is up. In space, there is no up. The fluid just floats around randomly, sending your brain the most confusing signals imaginable. The result? Space motion sickness. Picture puking in zero gravity. Without gravity pulling it down, your vomit doesn't land anywhere. It just floats in disgusting little blobs around the cabin. You, your crewmates, and your fancy spaceship all become part of the world's worst snow globe. And it doesn't just stop after a day or two. Some people never fully adapt. Their balance stays messed up the whole mission. That means nausea, dizziness, and the constant risk of barfing at the worst possible time, like during a spacewalk. Imagine trying to tighten a bolt while your body is staging a full-scale rebellion. On Earth, seasickness fades when you step on solid ground. In space, there is no solid ground. Welcome to Vomit Comet, Eternal Edition. Number 12. The Ultimate Cosmic Coffin. Here's the darkest truth of all. If you die in space, you're not coming back. Your body doesn't decompose the way it does on Earth. There are no bacteria, no bugs, no soil to recycle you. Instead, you just linger. If you're exposed to the vacuum, you'd swell, dry out, and eventually freeze, becoming a mummified astronaut popsicle drifting through the void. If you're sealed inside a spacecraft, you'd decompose more slowly, but the air would quickly fill with gases from your decaying body. Congratulations, you just turned the cabin into the galaxy's least fun air freshener. And unless someone actively disposes of your body by launching you into space, burning you up in re-entry, or some other grim method, you could just keep floating forever. A permanent relic, orbiting as a silent reminder that space travel isn't just dangerous, it's unforgiving. Basically, space doesn't just kill you, it keeps you. That's all for today. I'll be making similar videos in the future. Subscribe to see them.